Hey! Oh, wow. Hey! Biggie production, please come to the front. This one is for you. There's no way you're going to escape this one. So just come to the front with all humility. Just come and take your bashing. Just come and take. I'm going to make it light. Just come. So, first of all, who was in charge of that idea? Who came up with that idea, that concept for a comeback for the 3 fake evicted housemates? Who was it? What was the reason for that kind of return? That kind of re-entry into the house? What was the reason for that? Who thought about that? Because, hey, God, if there ever was the lamest comeback, the lamest return of a twist in the history of Bbnaija, that was it. It did not give anything. I don't know if it was supposed to give anything. Of course, it should be giving something, but it did not give anything. It was so lame. It was so bland. It was so tasteless. It was so meh. It was so... it was... What was the reason? What was the reason? What was the reason? Come on. Nah. It could have been way better. It could have. That was so underwhelming. So underwhelming. I mean, first of all, you know that there's already a lot of doubt surrounding the whole situation for the housemates. The housemates are still skeptical. They are not entirely in agreement with everything that's happening. I mean, they do not believe it entirely yet. They are still having conversations about it. There are still doubts, yes. And then deciding to return Dede and Joanna through the storeroom door like that, and even their angel, hi guys, we're back to the house like we never left. I mean, what was that thing they said? We're back, and everybody was just everybody was just looking at them like, okay. And you see, yeah, here is why it was even worse. It was worse because it was already expected that when those 3 return, Rooboy was going to receive the most rousing welcome. And that was exactly what had happened. We know that Dede does not particularly have a huge fan, a huge cheering crowd inside that house. Joanna, almost the same situation. So whoever thought of that concept, why didn't they just think of something different? I mean, take for instance, during the Shine Your Eye season, when Mimi disappeared from the house and Saga, Pere, the whole house were searching for this girl like crazy and they could not find her. And then, boom, she returned back to the house and was sleeping. Like, I can't remember how that whole thing played out now, but the way she returned, and you know, I think Saga woke up the next day, or was it Pere that first saw her? And they were looking at this girl like, oh, where have you been? And she was like, I've been here all along. It was the biggest mindfuckery ever in the history of Bbnaija. And it was so well played out. It was so well thought out. Saga thought he was losing his mind. Saga thought he was mad. The guy was literally looking for a therapist. That was genius. That was a genius idea. Now, I know that the situation is not the same with these 3 fake evicted housemates situation. I know it's not the same. But already knowing that the housemates did not buy the whole prank in the first place, one would have expected that production would have come together and thought of a more explosive way to return them back to the house. Now, I understand that them coming back to the house, they had to have their diary session, you know, sometime Thursday. And then there's also the Thursday pool party, and then there's a Saturday night party. I understand. So yeah, I can make an excuse that, okay, fine. Their sudden return, you know, there are reasons for that. However, why didn't they think of, okay, well, since there is a secret door in the, I think there's a secret door in the dressing room upstairs, they could have just thought of a way that the girls would have just returned, and then maybe they go have a shower and they're just moving about their activity and just ignoring housemates. And of course, housemates are going to look at them like, who are these ones again? Ha, ha. Of course, they're going to be shouting, you know? Just think of different genius ways. I mean, see, there are so many ways I can really list out that would have been more shocking, that would have even had more impact on the psyche of those housemates. But them just coming through the storeroom door and announcing we're back, I'm like, okay, you're back. Yeah, whatever. They did not need to make an announcement. They did not. I even preferred Rooboy's entry into the house way more than Dede and Joanna's entry. Because for Dede and Joanna, people were not rushing to go and hug them. It was even Faith that was more excited to see Joanna. See, it was just, I'm sorry to say, I mean, production, you people have been doing great all season, but this one was a huge miss for me. And this is just my opinion. It was a huge miss. I actually expected more. I expected better. And this felt like a rushed idea. It felt rushed. It felt like a lot of thought wasn't put into it. So yeah, don't do that next time. Don't repeat it in any other season. It was not giving. It was not. Okay, so now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's analyze the housemate reactions to Dede, Joanna, and Rooboy's return to the house. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a lot. Some housemates reacted more than others, and I think it's important to state that most of the housemate reactions is heavily based on their connection or their bond to each of these housemates. And I think that is the reason Rooboy received a more rousing welcome than Dede and Joanna. Rooboy is more like the life of the party. He's the life of the house. Everybody loves Rooboy. Everybody is rooting for Rooboy. So the moment he walked in through those doors, that's the eviction doors, everybody was literally jumping on him. Now, Rooboy was trying to keep a straight face. He was trying to frown, right? And it did not work. The doors just opened and he just walked in through, and it was like he was trying to walk upstairs. But guess what? Everybody jumped on him and they were screaming, Rooboy, Rooboy. You know, so it was quite expected that Rooboy's welcome would be that way. Yes, it was quite interesting to see, right? Whilst Dede and Joanna, on the other hand, they did not necessarily receive a rousing welcome. Now, Cola was quite excited to see Dede, yes. And of course, we know that it is for a lot of reasons. Dede is Cola's main storyline in that house. He even admitted it himself to Dede. Yeah, but we're going to get to that part. So he was very relieved. He was very excited. And I think most of yesterday and the other day, Tuesday, and that same Monday, he had been lamenting to his friend Bright about how much he missed Dede. They had plans to have a picnic, and he just misses her, misses their back and forth and all whatnot. And he just wished she would come back, you know. And so Kola had his wish come true last night, and he was just so excited. Now, speaking about Joanna, of course, ladies and gentlemen, if Faith could, he would have lifted her up to the skies and sang, Galamia! Because Faith was so excited. He almost carried Joanna up on his head and was bouncing her because the guy was so happy. And guys, remember his diary session, you know, had been filled with him lamenting. And he had even called Big Brother mean. He had said Big Brother was mean to him by taking away the only person, you know, that he had in his corner. And yeah, so it was just very excited to see Joanna. And guys, these people had conversations till about 4 a.m. this morning. Yeah, it was that serious. Yeah. But anyways, still on the reactions of the housemates, when the storeroom door opened, there were some people by the pool table. There was Coin, there was Culture, there was Manson. I think there was Cola at some point as well, yes. And so these three were kind of shocked in a way to see them, right? Especially Coin, yes. Now remember, before Dede left the house, he and Coin, or rather she and Coin, they had a slight issue which they did not resolve. And so Koyi did not bid her farewell. He did not go to hug her. He did not even assist in packing up her box. As a matter of fact, he felt like he was kind of relieved that she had left the house. And I think it was afterwards that he became quite expressive, you know, with his newfound fuck buddy, Isabella. Yes, spending more nights with her, doing stuffs and just basically fooling around. Yes, so he felt like he was kind of excited that Dede was finally out of the house. Yeah, so his reaction was kind of bland. Yes, he was probably expecting Dede to come to him, but they did not go to him. Now, Cola, of course, as I said, had rushed to hug Dede, and she had been more affectionate towards him. And it was quite suspicious the way she had been more affectionate towards Cola, because by the time they went upstairs, ladies and gentlemen, these two were caught up in the tightest hug ever. Like, Cola was so happy to see her, like genuinely excited. Like the way they had held on to each other so tight. And the hug was a lengthy one. And I was looking at this girl like this. I'm like, Dede. Nah. We've listened to this girl's conversations with Joanna in the secret room, and we know for a fact that she has something in store for Cola. She's got something all planned up. Now, we're not certain if she actually heard Cola's conversations during that period of their stay in the secret room, but it's very obvious that she came back with a revamped script, right? Or there could also be the possibility that, she's trying to hold on to the last fish that she has in her pond, because Jason is gone with Sultana. Koyi is gone with Isabella. And then there's also Cola, who is the only other person that is a storyline in the house, if you think about it. So having seen that Cola has really formed a strong bond with Imisi, she's possibly trying to get back her power, trying to get him back to, you know, her tiny little pond. So guys, I was just speculating. I was just, you know, racking up a lot of theories in my head. I don't know what you all think about that, but let me know in the comment section below, because they did not stop there, ladies and gentlemen. They actually went further, because after moving around for a bit, both of them, they were in one of the bedrooms, and oh my God, Cola kept on hugging her, and she kept on reciprocating, and he kept on raining kisses on her neck, and she was entertaining it, like, oh my God. And like, she was literally matching up his energy. We know that Cola is a very physical kind of person. His love language is probably physical touch. I don't know. Maybe one of his love languages. I don't know. So the guy was just he was so excited, like a puppy, you know, that's excited to see its master. Please, I'm not calling Cola a puppy, please. I'm just giving an example. And afterwards, you know, he had said, oh, please come and give me a hug again. And she had gotten up, went to sit on his thighs, and I hugged him. And then she sat beside him, and Kola was just kissing on her arm. And like, the guy just couldn't, it felt like Kola wanted to just swallow her up at that point in time. But in all of their interaction, the one thing I could sense was that Dede was just playing along. There's a new script in town, ladies and gentlemen. Yep, there's a new script. And Dede was definitely playing along. And you could see that sometimes she was kind of uncomfortable with his too much, you know, his too much closeness, but she was ready to play the game, this time with Cola. And then he started talking about all the picnic plans they have, and that today, Thursday, he's going to ensure that they have that picnic. And guys, I cannot wait to see how it pans out, because it's going to be an interesting one. So they had their moment, you know, very excited people. And she said she wanted to go shower. And she told him to open the door for her as a perfect gentleman would. And he did, you know, so Claire was just so excited, and he was just basically waiting around for her to finish having her bath. And then she had gone to have a bath. Now, aside Cola, on to other reactions from other housemates. Ladies and gentlemen, whilst all of these things were happening, Jason J had heard the noise. He had heard the shouts, the screams. He was in his bed. He was going through one of their wager manuscripts, and you could sense that he was not happy that those people were back. So it took him some time before he went downstairs to join everybody. And so by the time he went downstairs, at that point in time, Dede and Cola were in the garden. They had hugged again and again, and other people had come to join them in the garden. There was Mide as well. There was Joanna Rooboy was there as well. They were just talking excitedly. Jason J now bounced in, and then he tried to go and hug Dede. And guess what? Dede curved in. She was like, thank you. Guys, Jason J was pained. He was pained. It was obvious on his face. He was pained. Now, I do not know, as I said, I'm not really sure if Dede heard conversations from Jason J about herself. I don't know, but you know, the energy was kind of different. She was not entertaining him at all. Like, shift, your time is over. That was the energy that she was giving to him. Now, still right there in the garden, Mide had, you know, Mide was just saying a lot of things that, and Kocha upset her. She and Kocha, they had some issues. Oh, by the way, guys, before these people's return, Mide had been blasting Kocha back to back because he had actually upset her during one of their sponsor tasks that they had earlier yesterday evening. And she was just so upset. She was dragging this guy, but Kocha did not reciprocate the energy. He was silent all through. So she was still stewing in that anger. But when these people returned, you know, she had channeled that energy into the excitement. But in the midst of all of that excitement, you could sense that Mide was only showing that excitement towards Joanna and not Dede. Yes, you could sense that that grudge, that malice was still there. But Dede, on the other hand, was just acting like she had forgotten whatever had happened between both of them. So she was just, oh, yeah, so what happened? What happened? Da, da, da. And when Mide is talking, she's not necessarily looking at Dede. She's instead maintaining eye contact with Joanna. So then she had told them that, oh, when people left, some people are actually happy that people left too. They were saying that, thank God people have left, that now the house is empty so that people can hear each other properly. People were occupying space. Before we knew it, Dede and Joanna, they danced into the house screaming, jealousy, hey, jealousy, huh? Jealousy is the root of hatred. That is Thelma's favorite song. And by the way, Thelma was inside the head of house lounge. She was probably having a bath. But by the time she heard their voices, she came out and she was so excited to see Dede. She literally hugged Dede, carried Dede up. You know, they were so happy to see each other. But those two had gone back into the house and they had sang that song so much. And they were shouting, we are here to the last day, baby. If you want to go out, go home. But we are here. We are back. You know, they were just going around shouting. And some of the housemates were looking at them like, okay, maybe they're just excited to be back. Maybe there's nothing much to it. Yes. So that was how the energy was. Now, speaking of the people that Mide had actually outed that they made that statement, it was actually Sultana. Yes. So Dede and Joanna, they were singing that song for Sultana. Sultana was in the kitchen with Isabella and Imisi. And you see, when those three saw these girls return, they were not happy. Sultana especially was not happy. Imisi especially, what am I saying? Imisi especially was not happy because remember, ever since Dede left, she had, how do I put it now? Her bond with Cola had really grown deeper and tighter. Yes, and she, you know, she had felt like she was on top of the world, you know, she's in charge. So she was very excited that when Dede was gone. But seeing Dede back, she was not particularly excited. Yeah, she wasn't really excited. And even though she had mentioned during her diary session that if she had the power, she would have loved to bring Dede back, it was obvious that she was not particularly excited. And also, of course, a sworn enemy in the house, Joanna, she was not happy to see Joanna as well. Because remember, they had clashed a lot last week. So they have not resolved anything between them. Yeah, Isabella was like, oh, big brother, why did you even bring them back? That they should go back to where they're coming from, that the house is now too full, you know, that kind of thing. So the tension was right there. But that wasn't the only place that the tension was coming from. There was Coin, whose guilt was eating him up. Like, Coin's guilt was eating him up so much that he started explaining himself, like overly explaining himself and trying to convince himself that he does not give a fuck that these people are back. Nobody was asking him questions, but he was just explaining and you know, trying to act tough guy, trying to convince himself that, yeah, he does not care, So he did not make any move to go and meet Dede. He did not go to talk to her. He did not go to Joanna. He was just by himself. He did not even go to Rooboy, right? And then he had lied to Culture and Manson, that when Big Brother had asked them who they would like to bring back if they had the power, that he had said nobody. I said, dude, you're such a liar. Because Coin had actually mentioned Rooboy's name. So for whatever reason he lied, that is his headache. But Coin was trying so hard to act like he did not care, to act like he did not give a fuck. And guess what? When Rooboy came to where he and Culture and Manson was, Rooboy shook Culture's hand, hugged Culture, because Culture was telling him that, dude, I have wasted tears for you. I cried a lot for you. You know, so Rooboy hugged him and then went away. But Coin was still there trying to form hard guy. And guys, it was just so hilarious to see, because at that point in time, Coin really looked childish. You know, he really looked childish, like he was craving attention. He wanted validation. He wanted to convince people that, yes, I did not give a fuck. But you could tell that he actually did give a fuck. Oh, God. It was just so funny, for real. Now, in the midst of all of this excitement at the return of these girls, as much as Faith and Cola were over the moon with joy that their best girls were back in the house, they were still quite suspicious. Yeah, they were suspicious because for Cola, Dede was overly receptive of his PDAs and affections, which is quite strange. And ladies and gentlemen, for me, I mean, left to me, I kind of felt like Dede was giving too much away. If she had plans of coming back into the house to disrupt whatever, or maybe to teach Cola a lesson, or to play whatever card she wants to play, I just felt like she was overdoing it. Yes, I mean, how did you go from not wanting to give this guy a very, very tight hug to now allowing him to kiss you all over your neck, all over your arm? I mean, I just felt like that was just a lot, you know. But yeah, that was what was happening. And as far as Cola was concerned, it was enjoying all of that, you know, receptiveness that was coming from her. Faith, on the other hand, it seemed like Joanna was a bit more detached. Yeah. Now, she's always been detached, but I felt like she was a bit more detached, right? He was the one that was just gushing over her, expressing how much he missed her, expressing how much was the only thing that mattered to him at that point in time in the house before she left, and how he's so over the moon now that she's back, talking about his diary session, how Big Brother, you know, almost scolded him because he told Big Brother that Big Brother was mean, you know, just saying a lot of things. And Joanna was like, Faith. Faith. You see, it made me wonder, like, okay, Joanna, what did Faith do to you? What is your agenda? Could it be that, oh, you've seen Faith talking to Zita? Is that what is getting to you? But you see, about that whole Zita conversation, much later, they had conversations about, you know, Faith's coping mechanisms in the house. And Faith had explained that after she left, he was talking to Zita, but it was kind of hectic because he had to be explaining and defending his friendship, you know, to Zita. So now he doesn't even know how to manage her expectations. So we're going to see how that works out, because Zita had mentioned to him that she is a jealous friend. So guys, I can't wait to see how that works out now that Joanna is back. And therefore, Cola, you know, because he was kind of skeptical about Dede's over-receptiveness of all of his PDAs and affections. He was asking her that, oh, I hope you're not using me as a rebound because your friend Coin is now with Isabella. And it was like, oh, no. Why would you think such a thing? Why would you think? And I'm like, Dede, calm down. I know you're nervous, but Cola is too smart for all of these things you're doing. That guy is going to clock you instantly. And guys, we're going to find out if Cola is going to clock, or if he has already clocked the fakery in all of Dede's expressiveness. Yes, when he sits down to have a conversation with his sidekicks, Bright and Mide, because those two are equally very smart. So the moment they begin to sit down and analyze the whole situation, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure that they're going to come up with some very, very valid answers. Yes, and I cannot wait to see how it all pans out. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the return and the reactions. I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comment section below. First, I would love to know what you think about the grand entrance or the not so grand entrance? What do you think? Were you impressed or were you not impressed like me? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, let me know your thoughts about this thing now, this active ship between Dede and Cola. Whatever Dede's plans are, do you think it's going to work out? Do you think Cola is going to fall for it 100%? Let me know in the comment section below. And what else? Yeah, finally, just share your thoughts about the Housemates' general reaction. And I'll see you guys on another video. Thanks for watching. Have an amazing day. Bye.